What's up, guys? It's your boy Rico the Trainer. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know what I do. And today I'm here with Benji. He's here to share his story and what it's like on the streets of Philadelphia. What's up, Benji?
Hey, how's it going, Rico?
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling all right. A little warm. It's hot out here today.
Man, warm. It's hot. Tell them where you from. What's your name?
I'm originally from Bridgeton, New Jersey.
Okay.
Benjamin Swanson. I'm 55. Just turned 55 last week, the 12th.
Oh, you just had a birthday.
Yeah, just had one.
What's a birthday like on the streets, man?
Really, basically, just another day.
Right.
You know, my children, I had, we talked and all, and that was pretty cool. My grandson, he got on the phone and he calls me Papa Beard.
Okay.
So,
and how many birthdays have you had out here?
This is my third one.
Okay, so how long you been out here total? On the streets total altogether?
Altogether, probably about 6 years.
6 years. So it's been off and on?
Yeah. It's been constant for the last 3.
For the last 3 years straight.
Yeah.
And so when you were homeless before, and did you go back to a housing? Did you go live with somebody?
Yeah, I had an apartment. I was in Delaware at that time 3 years ago, and then the COVID hit, and I lost everything. My job. I've been a roofer, and I just lost everything. So.
Okay, so all right, let's go back to how you initially got out here the first time.
The first time I separated from my kid's mother, and I was just going through a real rough time. I was still using at the time, and I just gave up, and it was hard, I was ready to be a father and a husband, and it really hit me hard not being with my kids. She kept me from my kids, and that really hurt.
And so you left and went to live on the streets, or how did that go?
Yeah, I just went and just gave up basically at that time.
Okay, and so you said that was in Delaware?
Yeah.
So you've been on the streets of Delaware, homeless on the streets of Delaware?
Wilmington. Yes.
Okay, so you were homeless in Wilmington. How did you end up in Philly?
Well, when COVID hit, like I said, I lost my job and stuff and all that, and so I just came up here and figured I could get work up here, a way bigger city and more opportunity, and it just hasn't happened. I've got applications in everywhere.
Okay, so the first time you were homeless, tell me about how did you get out of that situation the first time?
Well, I had met a woman, and she was my soulmate, I believe. And that got me back, wanting things in life, and it was great. And she passed away, and that threw me right, back into not caring and asking questions about myself, and it was I never experienced someone that close. Her and my father died like 20 days apart.
Wow.
He died April 20th. She died May 14th. So it was like, boom.
Back to back.
Yeah, and with my dad, it was kind of acceptable because he had strokes and he was,
Right.
laying in a bed. But with her, it was just, I talked to her an hour before I got home. I told her I was on my way home, and when I got home, I went to kiss her, and I knew something was wrong, and she was gone.
So she was asleep. You found her asleep?
Oh, yeah, she was.
Okay.
Yep.
And then what happened after that? How did things go?
I was just. It was like I don't know. It was kind of like a dream. For like the first month, I was just in denial. I just kept expecting her to walk through the door. And it didn't happen, and I didn't go to work, and I started drinking again at that point, and I was real, and then I just I mean, I lost the apartment. Lost my job.
So did you lose it because you couldn't keep up with the rent
Yeah,
or what?
yeah. I didn't go to work, and I didn't have. I just sat there in the apartment, and like I said, I just expected her to come back, and I realized it's not. It's not going to happen.
So were you doing drugs at
No,
that
I was
time?
just drinking. I started drinking again. I didn't. It's been 9 years for the drugs, and that's been difficult too. Going through homelessness, and I look at these guys and I'm like, damn, that was me. I don't want to be like that no more. And then I see all the way it is now, because when I did it, it was heroin. And it wasn't this fetty and the trank and everything, And I see these guys with all these holes in them, and I don't want to be like that, And
Right.
and I promised my kids that I wouldn't go back to using too. I mean, because
Okay.
they've allowed me back in their life, and my grandkids, and I don't want to lose that. I mean, that's the one positive thing I have going for me is my kids. So
So after she passed, you started drinking. You eventually lost the apartment,
yeah,
and this was in Delaware, right?
yeah. Then
And
I came
then
to Philly.
did you
'Cause-
come to Philly already homeless?
yeah,
And so you just came and started living on the streets of Philly.
yep.
So do you have family in Philly?
No,
No family in
no
Philly. So
family.
you
Her
came.
family's up here. My wife's family, the woman I was with that passed, and I talk to them once in a while. But that's hard too because it's all they want to do is bring her up all the time, and it's like it's hard. I mean, I finally grieved. Probably took me about 2 years to grieve, to really just let loose and accept, what happened. And
Okay, so now you're in Philly and you're living on the streets. And what's that like?
um, it's difficult at times. I mean, I stay in a shelter sometimes, at night, but they're rough too. I mean, it's to kick you out 5:30 in the morning, and if you ain't got nowhere, whether it's raining, snowing, I mean, they don't care. It seems like it's just a money thing for them. Get you in there so they get paid and get grants and all. But as far as caring or trying, I mean, there's resources here, but I mean, it's like they pick and choose too who they want. Because I know people that's gotten a house through programs, where they pay their rent and electric for a year, and it only took them like 2 months. I've been trying, they say my name's on the list, and and these people never even stayed in shelters, and they get it. I mean, they said I had to stay 30 days straight in a shelter every night for me to be eligible to have housing, and I'd done that. And I mean, it's just like one letdown after another. It's getting hard, but I mean, I'm not getting no younger, that's for sure. I mean, I don't want to be out here another winter.
Hmm. Is it any difference from being in on the streets in Wilmington than Philly?
Yeah, there's more resources here than Delaware. Delaware doesn't have hardly anything. I mean, they have like one shelter, and that's the Sunday breakfast mission, and I mean they only allow so many people in. Their capacity. They have guys that's been there for years, so I mean it's
So after your girlfriend passed, you wasn't able to keep up the rent because you started drinking again, and so you went back to the streets. You came to Philadelphia. You were staying downtown Philadelphia, right?
Yep.
And you went to a shelter,
Yes.
and then you left the shelter.
Well, I still go back, like when it's bad weather, or when I really want to get some good sleep and all, because out on the street it's hard. I mean, you have to keep, it's like you got to sleep with one eye open. The way these young kids are today. You know, they've been beating a lot of homeless people up. You know, and
Yeah,
it's dangerous out here. I got robbed
so,
3 nights ago at gunpoint.
yeah.
Yeah, and these kids couldn't have been no older than 14, 15 years old. I mean,
You
it's
rob a homeless guy.
yeah.
What are you gonna get from robbing a homeless guy?
Well,
That's
they got my $60
oh
and my
wow.
phone.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
yeah. I
That's
mean,
unfortunate.
it's sad, you know, these kids. I mean, and if I was to hurt one of them, I would be the one that went to jail.
Mm. So, besides the kids, what's the treatment like with the people?
Um, it's funny because like the white people look at me like I'm some kind of disease,
Oh yeah.
you know, and it's sad, you know, and the blacks. I mean, I get so much respect from them, you know, and it's weird, man. I mean, because I mean these white people will pull up in a $110,000 Maserati and look at me like, you know,
And
like
won't even give you $1.
nothing at all.
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy, but it's just the opposite for a black guy that's homeless. The whites will look out for them, and the blacks will look at them like it's crazy how it is, man.
Mm.
I can't wrap my head around that scenario. I mean, you shouldn't look at anybody like that, you know?
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't understand. So for me, I just I connect with energy. You know, whatever kind of response I get when I speak to somebody, I don't care what color they are.
Exactly.
You know, I speak, and sometimes I've been cussed out just speaking. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah,
And
you
you
look
know,
like
that's
it's
just
like
how it
if you
is.
say good morning to a person, they look at you like you want something, or you got 10 heads.
Yeah.
That's like my son. My kids are mixed. And my son asked me, because in school they asked what race he was, and he's like, Dad, I didn't know what to put down. I was like, you put human down, boy. That's the only race of people I know is the human race. I know no color means nothing to me. And he's like, yeah, Dad, because, you know, Mom's Italian and black, and you're Native American and German. He's like, what do I put down? I was like, put human down. And the teacher actually told him he was wrong.
Mm.
And I was like, how'd she say you was wrong? She's like, you're white. He's like, but I'm not white.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, white is white. He said he held up a piece of paper and he said, that's white. That's not my color. And he's like, well, I told her, well, okay, I'm Heinz 57 in with the mix. You remember that commercial? I don't know if you remember that, but.
Okay. You've been clean for 9 years, right?
Yep.
So, you know, drugs wasn't the main cause of why you were on the streets.
No. I was never homeless when I was using. I mean,
Okay.
I worked my whole career. I paid, $379 a week child support for 10 years.
And so, what kind of work did you do?
I was a roofer.
Okay, how long you do that?
My whole life since I was like 10 years old. My father and my uncle had a business, and I was carrying shingles when they were heavier than I was up a ladder. So I've done it. I mean, I can basically do anything when it comes to a house.
Okay. So I saw your sign. It said need work.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I don't usually see. Like you'll see people, they say anything can do, you know, food, money.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
one of the first person I've seen with a sign that said need work, which shows that you're motivated and willing to do some work.
I would rather work. This is
You know
very
what I'm saying?
humbling for me to have to, you know, panhandle it. I mean, it's humbling. I mean, there's times when I actually, you know, tear up just from thinking about me being there and having to do this. But it's either this or I've never been one to go steal or anything like that. That's not me.
Right.
I want to work for my money. I don't want, you know.
Right. Yeah. I like that because, you know, some people, you know, they want something for nothing.
Yes.
And, you know, of course, I don't have a problem giving. That's, you know, the nature of what I do. But it's good to see somebody that's motivated and willing you know, to put the work in.
That's funny because I got hit with a $100 bill. This guy gave me 250s, and I only thought it was 150. And I told there was another guy panhandling out next to me. And then when I seen it, I was like, "Come on, man." He's like, "Well," I was like, "Come on, man, I'm gonna give you $10." And then when I opened it up, it was 250s. So I told him, I was like, "Look, I'm gonna give you $20, man." He's like, "What?" He looked at me like I was, lying to him or something. He's like, "Man, no one's ever done that." I was like, "Well, listen, that's me, man. If I got blessed, I'm gonna bless someone else. I mean, and I don't want nothing in return. I don't want you to say I'll give you something when I don't want that. I do that out of the kindness of my heart, and I got something. So why shouldn't I give someone else something? Like one time I was panhandling, these four black women pulled up, and she's like, "Hey, honey, I need $2 for gas." I had $3 on me. I was like, "Well, here, I got 3. You can have the 2 if you need gas, baby. Here you go." I was like, "Matter of fact, here, take all the 3, because 2 ain't gonna do nothing for you." She looked at me, smiled. She's like, "Here, honey, I just wanted to see what you would say." Handed me back, and all them women all together gave me like $80. They was like, "You're the first one that's ever gave me money when I asked them that." All the rest of them say, "Oh, I didn't make anything yet," and all that.
You know what's crazy about that? Part of the reason that I do this is because I've been in a situation where a homeless guy was willing to give me something, right? And it made me think to myself, like, damn, he has to have the same kind of heart that I do, because when you see somebody that's willing to give
Right.
at their worst or in a situation like that, it just makes you think like, man, that person, and it actually ignited something in me to be in a position where somebody that was probably in more need of it than me willing to give it to me.
Right.
So I really like that they did that. And when I tell this story, a lot of times people are like, "Oh yeah," like I get asked like, "Well, why do you do this?"
Right.
And that's a part of it, because I've been a living witness of a homeless person willing to give.
Right.
And I just wanted to be able to give back. I wanted to be able to pay it forward, and that's a part of why I do what I do. So that's dope, man.
Yeah, that was really wild though I mean,
Yeah, that's how I felt about that experience. I was
right.
like, wow, damn, like he's just willing to give it. I'm like, okay. And it just made me want to go out and give even more. You know what I'm saying? So that's a part of why I do this.